How different is a campervan MOT? Does it mean your gas, your electrics, your living facilities, your bed system, etc.? Does it mean it's actually safe? No. Even if your campervan passes its MOT, it could still be extremely dangerous, and I'm going to discuss that today. I'm taking my van on the way to the MOT centre now, just to see if mine's going to pass, because it's that time of year again. But I've also got some Christmas tree lights on the dashboard, so I need to get those rectified. I think I know what it is. It's a common problem that if you've got a Volkswagen or a Volkswagen Transporter, I'm pretty sure you've either come across it, or if you haven't, you're probably going to do. Anyway, let's get it into the test centre and find out a little bit more about a campervan MOT. Dropped off, and I already know that I'm going to have to pay more than just for my actual MOT. My front tyres were getting low, so I actually ordered them in beforehand just to make sure that I actually passed the test. Anyway, I've taken out my MyRider 24 from the back of my van just so I don't have to wait around. It's absolutely brilliant use for this purpose. I can just ride away, do some errands, go home, or film a video like I'm doing today. I'm absolutely loving this bike. Well worth taking a look if this is something which you're interested in. I did do a video of the 24 and it suits my needs at the moment absolutely perfectly. Anyway, as far as the MOT is concerned, the MOT, short for Ministry of Transport, is in the UK an annual test of safety, roadworthiness and exhaust emissions. And it's an annual requirement for most vehicles that are over 3 years old that are going to be used on the public roads. The primary goal of the MOT is to ensure that vehicles meet the minimum of safety standards, and this includes checking essential components such as brakes, lights, tyres, steering, seatbelts, and the structural integrity of the vehicle. The vehicles need to be environmentally acceptable, and therefore it includes emissions check to ensure that the vehicles aren't polluting excessively. You certainly don't get that problem from an ID Buzz, which I've again seen another one this morning, and I really do quite fancy one. It's also to check that they are roadworthy, meaning that the vehicle is in suitable condition to be driven on the public roads without posing a danger to the driver or anybody else. Essentially, the MOT is designed to keep dangerous and polluting vehicles off the road, making them a lot safer for everybody. But what about the camper aspect of things? Firstly, the majority of campervans are tested to Class 4, which is the same category as a car, and that'll become more important in a minute. Now, there are a lot of different requirements and different specifications, and I'm not going to be getting into that today, but the MOT test makes no specific requirement of the campervan installation. There is no check of the gas or electric installation, nothing to do with your water system, your cooker, or any of the appliances which you've had fitted. And as part of a Class 4 test, even the load rating of wheels and tyres isn't considered. All these items could be dangerous, yet the test could still be passed. I can kind of understand that some of these aspects, but the wheels, really, they should be a fail if they aren't correctly rated. It's no surprise that we're often seeing these load-rated tyres, incorrectly load-rated tyres, failing. They have a rating for a reason. I speak to several garages, dealers, converters, etc., and they all have a story to tell regarding campers. One told me that they had a camper in the other week and it was self-built, but nothing in it was absolutely fixed, meaning that everything was completely mobile. Slam the brakes on and everything's flying forward. Now, how can that possibly be safe? It isn't, but for MOT purposes, it could still pass. You may sometimes see MOT compliant bed, which usually means that it hasn't been crash tested, and it certainly hasn't been in chassis crash tested, but it will pass an MOT if it's fitted correctly. The problem is, they don't even have to be fitted properly. I've been told by 3 separate MOT garages that they can often come across campervan beds that haven't been fitted correctly. They don't have the spreader plates, they're not using the correct hardware, not using the correct bolts. One even told me that they'd seen a bed attached to the campervan using wood screws. Just completely crazy. Yet, because none of that's tested, apart from the fact that it's actually fixed, it could still pass the MOT. So your van could be deemed safe and road legal from the perspective of an MOT test. But so much is not actually tested. This shows the importance of having a specific gas, electric, a habitation check, or whatever else you wish to name it. The majority of people don't have it though, deemed an expense that they don't feel is worth it. Now, even if you have a camper van that's been built to regulation, built to high standards properly, then it's still subject to vibration and movement. Things can work loose, wires can fray, fittings can come away, and just general wear and tear. So checking the tightening and replacing can save so many problems in the future. An MOT does not mean your camper van is safe. It's definitely worth having a habitation check as well. Anyway, I'm going to have a coffee and then I'm going to head back and see to find out whether my van has passed its MOT. And what is those lights on the dashboard? Let's find out if I was right. I think I probably am. So I have my paperwork, and this year is good news. Now, I am at a different garage this year, and the only reason I'm at a different garage this year is because I've got relationships with several garages. So I kind of spread out the work which I need around a little bit, rather than just actually using one. Anyway, yeah, like I say, it is great news. I knew I was going to need tyres replacing, so I'd booked those in first, so those have been done before the actual test was carried out. My dashboard lighting up, well, that is a common problem, not only for the Transporter, but also other Volkswagen vehicles as well. And that's the ABS sensor, a really easy replacement, and now my dashboard is back to normal. But if you haven't had that problem yet, then it might be something to look out for in the future. But I do have another job that also needs doing in the future myself, and that's the front bushes. The front bushes are a common problem again with Transporters. And what is also becoming common at the moment is actually rust, especially on the T5. Is that just down here because people are parking them up on the beaches, taking them there, getting them completely covered in sand? I don't know, but I have actually been told that the underneath of mine is actually very clean, which is quite good to know, especially if I am considering selling for a Buzz or maybe a Crafter. They had a T5 in the other week, which was so badly rusted that effectively it had been written off. So all the good bits of that were going to be removed and transferred to a new chassis. Potentially to prevent all this rust is undersealing, something which I haven't actually had done to mine, but I do know like quite a few of you do. The Lano Guard or whatever it's called, I know quite a few people do that and do recommend it. Don't know, maybe that's the answer. Maybe something for you to consider. But back to the MOTs themselves, and did you know that under consideration at the moment is extending the period in between MOT tests to 2 years? That's Northern Ireland only, but what do you think of that? Only having an MOT every 2 years. That is just what could be one of the many changes that happen into the motor industry over the next few years. We really are entering a huge period of change, like we've seen with the electric vehicles and the new Transporter which is coming out. Anyway, look out for lots more videos coming up at the NEC show in the next few weeks. Thanks for watching, take care, and I hope to see you soon.